everybody. Hello again. Hello again, you all. Welcome back to another lesson, another blessing with yours truly, the counselor, Mr. James Horton. All right. Today we're going to be dealing with a subject and a topic called the big I and the little U. The big I and the little U. Most of you have heard the statement, the big I and the little U, but you haven't heard it like you are soon to hear it with yours truly, the counselor. I'd like you all, before we get started, to tap into my site, my channel on YouTube, Domestic Violence with the Counselor, Mr. James Horton is the title. Just go on there, Domestic Violence with the Counselor, Mr. James Horton. Press subscribe. I'd like you to press subscribe and a thumbs up if you enjoy what you see. Hopefully, and I'm sure you will. I know you will, matter of fact. I know you'll enjoy. And you also enjoy a host of more videos on many other topics. We're going to keep pushing this thing. I'm going to keep pushing it because it's my job and my purpose. You know, a life without a purpose is a life not worth living. So, we're going to carry on again. This paper is called The Big I and the Little U. It says, when it comes to interpersonal relationships and the position we sometimes take when we're dealing with the world around us, many people, not all, can find themselves and will find themselves taking the big I position over people and making other people the little U. This positioning statement possesses an authoritarian setting of pulling rank or expressing I'm bigger and better than others from the way one speaks, acts, and behaves. Ask yourself questions, all right? Number one says, big I. Are you known to show little importance to devalue others, give little weight to, and make light of conversations you have with people you feel are on a little U level in life, right? Big I. Are you known to show little importance to devalue others, give little weight to, and make light of conversations you have with people you feel are on a little U level in life, right? What does that mean? What does that mean? It means like many times we can be growing up in the neighborhood. We can have friends that have less than we have. We can have friends that their living arrangements are not on the level of our parents' living arrangements were. And this thing a lot of times starts very early on of feeling like we're better than someone, feeling like we're doing so much better than someone else because they're not doing so good at this time. But it doesn't mean you're better than anybody. So we're addressing the topic of being big or acting bigger than someone and making other people smaller than us. Making statements like, I would never go to a church and pick up food. I would never take handouts for this, and that. You know, and yeah, most of us have said it until the corona hit, right? Until the corona hit, until the whole world shut down, and now many people have a new attitude. So we're going to read on. Number 2, big I. Do you feel and believe the big I in you is bigger, better, and stronger than the little you in the we part of most of your relationships? Big I. Do you feel and believe the big I in you is bigger and better and stronger than the little you in the we part of most of your relationships, right? Like, you know, that big I part, right? And that big you part, it separates the we part of relationships. Relationships are a we thing. You know, relationships are joining together to make one whole, healthy, hopefully, relationship, right? And if you keep using the I statement and the you statement, you're going to mess it all up. It's going to be messed up before it ever gets started, right? I'm just trying to give you some of this, what we call games, right? All right, hang on in there, strap in. All right, number 3, big I. Did your big I ego Self-contribute tribute stop you from listening to the little you when you caught your 52 weeks of domestic violence classes. Big I, did your big I ego contribute stop you from listening to the little you when you caught your 52 weeks of domestic violence classes? It's interesting, right? It's interesting when you start getting that fat vein popping out your head, when you at home stressing over something that you should have just talked about and let out, when you allow pressure to bust a pipe, that build up, right? That pain in your back, right? These are warning signs, right? These are warning signs telling you to stop, bag up, don't go there, don't say that, right? And we go there, and then somebody else goes there, and they say something we can't take. Poor little us, the little boy, the little girl comes out, and you can't take what someone has just said. So you go further and dig yourself a hole that you cannot get out, right? So listen to the little voice. The little voice will also save your life, right? I've been in many situations where, thank goodness and thank God above the goodness, is that I listen. I had to be listening because I'm still here, but there were some dangerous times. If I didn't listen to that voice telling me, don't go down that street, don't go up in that house, stay in the house tonight, don't go out, right? You guys have probably gotten those calls. If you here listen to the video, you must have heard the voice too. And thank God we listen. All right, number 4. Big I. In your upbringing, did you learn, adapt from your family and associates the rule of thumb, which is also called the thumb law, which states a husband could beat his wife with an object as long as it wasn't thicker than his thumb? And are you still continuing that same practice in your relationships? Right? Let's read that again. Big I. In your upbringing, did you learn and adapt from your family and associates the rule of thumb, which is also called the thumb law, which states a husband could beat his wife with an object as long as it wasn't thicker than his thumb? And are you still continuing that same practice in your relationships today? Right? Now, this rule of thumb thing, I used to be like, I never heard of it, right? But I lived it. And when I mean I lived it, I mean I grew up in a dysfunctional domestic violence home. I was damaged. We went through a lot with my father, and it was a lot of stuff going on. And I can recall the police coming to our house often, regularly, almost every other night or every night. And when they came, right, my mother may have been bleeding. Something was broken on her, broken nose, busted lip, whatever, blood, visible blood all around her, and we were damaged. And the police would come and ask my parents were they married, and I was wondering, why would you ask such a dumb question, right? There's violence going on, and my father would say, yes, we are. And the police would suggest that one of my parents go take a walk. Of course, my father, being the big bully of the house, he did not leave. And so my mother and her 3 children were always forced to walk the streets. This is, and it was terrible. So this related to what they call the thumb law, right? The rule of thumb, which is what was a law even adapted in the United States, and it's still going on in other countries, where a husband, a man, had a right to beat his woman and his wife, right? And if she came out in other countries dressed inappropriately, dressed in something somewhat sexy, some jeans or whatever, in these other countries, a woman could be stoned. What a terrible thing. What a terrible thing. I know some of you guys that like, beating up your girl and all that. Y'all don't see it the way I'm seeing it. But if you love your mama, if you love your sister, you should love other sisters and other women, no matter what culture and what race they are, right? Now, she was made to be a more gentle figure, a more soft figure. right? God didn't want her to have all the muscles and the big muscles in the neck and all that kind of stuff. God wanted man to take care of her, right? And so that's why he made her, you know, a different frame and a different form. Man, it's something like real beautiful and stuff. And we got to do a better job than we've been doing, thinking that just because an argument didn't go our way, that we're supposed to take it to making somebody the little the little you, and making ourselves the big I. So watch out for that, right? Number 5. Did you believe like the little you when you went? Okay, let's read that again. Did you feel or believe like the little you when and during your verbal altercation with your partner that caused you to stay and physically attack your partner to be and feel like the big I before waiting for the police to come, right? It is some of us, right? Some of us have an ignorance, man. You know the police coming, and if you got any sense, you know they taking you to jail, right? Or her to jail. Whoever's being the bigger fool, right? Whoever's trying to become the big I and make the other person the little you. If you talk too much, once they step in the door, you can definitely be gone. Even if you make the call, you know, even if you're the person that called, you come to sitting there feeling like you're the big shot, whether you're a woman or a man holding some weapon or something, and you're liable to get shot, right? So you must use this thing they got up here, this thing they call the brain, right? All right. Number 6. Number 6. Big I. When you look at your life on the inside of your picture frame, do you always feel like you are the big I, or do you sometimes feel like the little you in life, right? Big I. When you look at your life on the inside of your picture frame, do you always feel like you are the big I, or do you sometimes feel like the little you in life? Sometimes, a lot of times, when people are having altercations, when the fellas are together and one-on-one having these certain altercations, certain verbal arguments and different stuff, physical fights, the shootouts and all that, a lot of times you're going around with a gun, big old gun, shooting somebody. You're going around beating people down because you're taller, heavier, or whatever, right? Taking advantage of someone because you feel there's a little you. But at the same time, the display of what you're doing is not really getting you no real points. God is not looking at you and giving you no stripes for your behavior, what you're doing. A real big guy is one that can let the little stuff drop and the big stuff pop, right? That's who the big person is. To let the little stuff pop, the little stuff drop, and the big stuff pop. Start stripping off and worrying about big things and quit stressing over small things. Small things actually make you small, right? I don't care what kind of attack you've done. Small behavior makes you small, right? And letting things go and not tripping off small stuff, not biting into small stuff makes you big, right? Really, it makes you big and it makes you last out here. It makes you last another day and another year and another few years, right? It lets you be able to complete your purpose here on life instead of wasting your life on non-purposes, right? Okay, number 7, we're going to close this out. Does the big I or the little you stop you from praying to God to be the head of your life and praying for peace and happiness in your relationships? Does the big I or the little you stop you from praying to God to be the head of your life and your house and praying for peace and happiness in your relationships? Now, we can't get too big, right? Because, like, you know, sometimes we just be so big in the head, we won't get down on our knees. We won't pray for something to fix something, right? We always find ourselves fixing things ourselves. And most of us are not good fixers at all. Most of us don't even know how to handle some tools to tighten a tire on a ramp. Most of us, like the old folks used to say, don't have sense enough to pull piss out of a boot, right? And we really don't, right? So, we need not go to this power in this prayer tripping. We need not go to a power to tell God how big our problems are. We need to learn to start telling our problems how big our God is, right? That's what we need to do. Start telling your problems how big your God is. And if your God is bigger than the problem, then the problem is straight up fixed. It's fixed. It's not a problem anymore. So that's going to be it for yours truly, the counselor, Mr. James Horton. All right? Thank you for attending my group.